What is going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Staincast. Of course, as usual, I am one of your co-hosts, Mr. Stephen E. And with me, as
What's
always,
go- What's up, guys? No further ado required. It's DL. Just us this week. We're toning it
yes, sir.
back because we couldn't find anyone else who wanted to talk about Solo. No,
Not,
unfortunately, our
not
other
so.
guest Chet couldn't be with us tonight.
Yeah, but like DL said, we are talking about Solo. This movie's mid. We'll get into that more in a minute. But first off, we did want to apologize for this episode coming out a little late. Um,
I'm
just
in no good suit.
yeah, DL's a suit, and just circumstances come up in life where unfortunately this isn't our full-time job as of right now, or will it be in the near future. So we're unfortunately, stuff like this happens when other
Yeah.
priorities come into place. So
If you guys
but
want to
we do
start
have this
paying me a
episode.
salary, I'll be here. I'll drop an episode every fucking day you want me to. If you
I
guys
mean,
want me
yeah,
to start paying out my salary, give me 30-hour lunch break. I'll
I'll
fuck
take
with
it.
that. I'll get you
But
guys an episode every day.
we should be back on schedule next week with the sequels. But before we get into that, of course, we do need to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story.
No, we don't. End of episode.
I mean, we don't. We
That's
don't.
it.
We really.
That's literally it. It's like,
But so unfortunately, we did do this where we were going to talk about all of the theatrical releases of Star Wars. We committed to it,
yep.
so we do have to.
We've been blessed. We've been blessed with a whole lot of good. So it's unfortunately the regression. The regression to the mean has begun. And wow, what a movie!
Yeah. So I guess
Wow.
without further ado, DL, you want to go? You want to start with your favorite and least favorite characters?
So I'm gonna get you guys, of course. So I'm gonna clue you guys in right now. I'm looking at my notes, and it's empty right now. So I don't know what that means. I think we all know what it means. It means that not a very. I see it's weird because they threw so many A-listers at this movie, and it wasn't good. Like the character, like the. I mean, it's almost. I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's like these guys aren't hungry. It's like you're throwing an A-list into a Star Wars universe. They're probably like, "Yay, I get to be in a Star Wars universe." Not to be like, "All right, how am I going to leave my mark in a Star Wars universe?" Where these guys are just like, "Oh, this is fun for most of these guys." Like these guys already have established careers. I don't give a shit about the Star Wars universe. Like not to be like super fucking like, oh my god, they ruined it for me. Oh, blah blah. No, not really. It's just when you throw guys who don't need this paycheck into this movie, they're not going to be risking it. Like even Han, it's like this guy's a nobody. No offense to him, he hasn't been in much movies, and even he didn't
In there.
seem very interested. He didn't seem very interested in being Han Solo, like the top three most known Star Wars characters of the original trilogy, or
Yeah.
somewhere in that conversation.
So it this is my issue
Like
that I
I
have with
almost
the.
wanted, I want to give it to Lando because it's
I
like he's
was.
the most charismatic. He's like the most inherently interesting. Like he at least
He's
has,
also the most
um,
equivalent to his character in the OT.
yes, okay, yeah, that too. Yeah, he's definitely the most. Yeah, like you said, the strongest connection to. Like you can actually believe that like that's a younger Lando, even the way he talks. I feel like, what's his name? I was about to say Childish
Childish
Gambino,
Gambino,
Danny Glover. Yeah, same thing.
Donald Glover,
I feel like he actually like
not
Donald,
Danny.
whatever.
Danny's the white one.
Danny Glover. Oh, whatever. Well, regardless, my foolishness aside, um, I feel like he's the only one who like watched the OT in this movie. Like he's the only one who has like any like connection to it. Like I don't know. Like I said, um, I want to give it to Danny Glover. I mean, whatever. Freaking Donald Glover. It's all right. Childish Gambino, whatever. I want to give it to him because he's really just like the only character who left his mark on me. Like I'll finish this movie and it's like definitely ain't Han. Chewie is just a throwaway because he doesn't speak. If he actually spoke English, honestly, he'd probably be in the conversation for best character too because at least he's another character who actually it's
Is the same
Chewie.
as
Like
his.
I
Yeah,
yeah.
you really can't go wrong with Chewie.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chewie's fine. Kira, throwaway. Literally just bringing in Amelia Clark and being like, "I want you to be a good actress, not here's a good script." What's his name? Paul Bettany.
Well, yeah, that was
What
a
the fuck is
waste.
he? Like, not a
Woody
good
Harrelson,
villain. Wasn't
waste.
scared by him. Woody. Oh, come on. Like, I don't mind Woody Harrelson. I actually like Woody Harrelson. He's great, and I think we're gonna cover it soon. Zombieland. He is fucking amazing. But it's like, it's just a different tone. Like, he's not Star Wars tone. Like, I mean, with Disney now, everything kind of gets thrown out the window. So whatever.
Yeah, I was
But
so this is
I
I
just
think
wasn't sold by anyone's portrayal. Like everyone's characters are just like Yeah, like it is what they're just all like it's what you see is what you get. Like there's no intricacies. Like oh my god, spoiler, Beckett turning on them at the end. I never would have saw that coming. Like come on, man, it's not it's
Yeah.
not
So
very
I mean,
challenging to the brain. Like there's just no um, there's no like good feeling you get at the end of the movie. It's not like, oh wow, the characters won. Also, we have to address the elephant in the room. Whenever you make a prequel movie like this with a character that's obviously alive in the newer
there's no
ones,
stakes.
but still, I've seen movies that do it very good because that's when you bring in a supporting cast that fucking like those are the ones who are expendable. Then like, but they have such a connection to him where like it almost feels like his character is like still getting hurt. Like you can still hurt someone's character, you just can't kill him. Like there's a lot you can do.
So here's my biggest issue with these characters and with this story that we were given. Um, Obviously they poured everything, not everything, but they poured a lot into Han. He's the main character. He's the title character. But no one asked to see his backstory. No one asked for any of this. But
Yeah, I mean,
what
you
the
can keep going.
biggest thing that happened with this movie is a setup movie for shit that we never got. It's a setup movie
Mm.
for stuff with Crimson Dawn that's currently going on in the comics now and novels now. When this movie came out in 2017 or
2018.
2016, 2018, sorry. Um, it's it's got ties with Maul again with Crimson Dawn with Maul's return that we have not seen. It's got ties to a Lando series that got announced, I thought, and now we've heard nothing about.
I mean, we also don't need that. Like, I'm sorry, it's like I like these characters, but you don't need a TV show on them. Like, you don't need a movie about them. It's like, yeah, they're
Agreed,
interesting.
agreed. But it's just like, the issue with this movie is all of these characters are just kind of taken and placed where they need to be for their next story, and then we never got those stories
Especially
either.
the way, especially the way Disney does their TV shows, at least in the Star Wars genre, where they have the main character, the title character, then they bring in a better character, better just meaning like how they write them and stuff. They bring in a better character that just supersedes them. So like, oh yeah, you're old news. Here's the new shit. It's like, but this is his show. This is like Book of Boba Fett, Mando. I haven't even seen Mandalorian. That's all I hear is that this is not even his show anymore. But
I,
it's just
it's Mando. We'll talk about it
why.
separately because
I still have to watch it. I'm just in no rush. Like there's a bunch of other actual good shows I want to watch.
yeah, I personally liked Mando. It had its ups and downs, but besides the fact,
I just heard that the
it's
finale was. I just heard the finale was a nothing burger. That's what I heard. I heard it's just like wow, like a useless season finale for a useless season. That's kind of like the gist I got. I didn't say
not
I didn't hear it was
not
like the worst thing on TV, but I
no,
just hear that
not
it wasn't very
necessarily.
eventful.
No, I mean, shit happens that needed to happen, especially for the story. I mean,
Hmm.
some things they could have done better, but
Yeah, I mean,
anyways,
like I said, this is just what I've heard. I still have to watch it.
yes. But long story short, Solo does not have good characters. Like you said, Lando is
Mm.
probably the best character because uh, Donald Glover actually like puts his heart into that character. He wanted to, like, he was having fun with it. And you could tell he was having fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's
It's like
and
he actually cared about how
unfortunately,
his character is going to be like he cares the universe that his character's in. It's like none of these other guys give a fuck.
yeah, and unfortunately for Aldrich Eldenreich, it's he also just boils down to the fact of he's not Harrison Ford.
Yeah, no, I was literally going to say that. That was what I was going to say in the beginning where it's like, look, it's real nice and all that Han Solo is getting his own TV, his own show, his own movie. But we got to stop pretending like Han Solo isn't Harrison Ford. Like they're synonymous. They're synonymous with one another. Like there is no Han Solo without Harrison Ford. Like the
It's
fact
like
that he's
RDJ and Iron Man.
yeah, and it's also the fact that he's very handsome when he's Han Solo. Like he's a very good-looking guy, and it's like obviously that's the pull. It's like, look, we're not gonna pretend like he's some like super depth. Like his character has so much depth to it. He's so intricate. Oh, you never know what he's think. He's a good-looking guy who has witty dialogue. That's Han
That's
Solo. Like I'm
that
sorry,
that is Han Solo.
like that's Han Solo. Like okay, it's like sure, put him in a movie, but like don't make him the fucking main character. There's a reason why he wasn't the main character in the fucking OT because he's just not that kind of character. He's a
Yeah,
supporting character.
yeah. So I guess honestly, for me, for long story short, favorite character if I had to give it one is Lando, and on the opposite side of that coin, my least favorite character is his partner, L337.
No, It's so played out, man. No more fucking droid companions that don't shut the fuck up. Please, God, please, please,
So
please
like
stop.
I'm not.
Like it's
I
not.
think
It's so played out, man.
so. I'm not. I agree with you, and I think that the like having the
Because we're fresh
droid.
off of Rogue One, that literally is a carbon copy of the
Yes,
other one, whatever her name was. It's like, come on. These
K2SO.
movies came out within like 3 years of each other, and it's the exact same fucking character.
Yes. So for me, my biggest issue with L337, like I think they could have done good with her character, like a whole droid freedom activist like type of droid. That could have been a cool character. But the way they went around it is just she's not that interesting. Not to mention Lando fucks her.
There's just too many half-measured characters too. Nah, come on, man. I don't know what the fuck that's about. They gotta cut that shit out. That ain't right. And nobody gotta fucking be sitting in their couch,
That
bed, whatever they're doing, and thinking about a man fucking a droid. Ain't nobody gotta think about that.
we didn't need
I don't
that
even
line
want
of
to.
dialogue. We did not need that
That's
line of
something. That's
dialogue.
something I don't even want to speak on. But oh, what was I saying? There was something else I was gonna say. Oh, it's because
L3.
there's so many half baked characters in this movie. It's like, please don't try to develop another one. Just fucking try to develop this like the main cast. Like Han is such a
Well,
fucking
when they
ugh.
introduce like so they want to develop Han, they want to develop Chewie, they want to develop Lando, but then they introduce Amelia
The,
Kira, they
yeah,
introduce Beckett, they
Beckett
introduce L3, they introduce fucking Emphas
riding
Nest,
Voss.
they introduce Voss. Like they introduce all these characters and then
And then they
most
just
of the
throw
guys.
fucking Maul in there at the end just for a trailer or something. Like it's so
That's
it's
what I'm
like
talking
they're
about with
trying
them setting stuff up. Like Maul, yes, him with Crimson Dawn comes Maul. It's known
yes.
since Clone Wars that he runs it. It's been known in the books, in the comics. Yes,
But
within
the matter that they did it was so fucking like, hey guys, it's Darth Maul. Come get it.
and
It's
then
like,
nothing
bro,
happens from it.
yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck you.
It's
It's like
like
you're
I wouldn't
using
have
him as
been
this
mad.
fucking.
I wouldn't have been mad at that teaser because we get teasers like that all the time. They did that with both Liam Neeson and Palpatine in Obi-Wan. It's like I would have been fine with that cameo, but again, it's we've got nothing from this. We know nothing of where this story's going. We have not seen Maul. We did not see Kira go to Dathomir. We have not seen any of
We've
it.
never seen Dathomir. It's like for considering how massive Maul is in like this Clone Wars story that like we get in the anime show, like he's only been in one movie, episode tip one. Like that's kind of ridiculous to me. But
We've only seen Dathomir in Clone Wars or Fallen Order.
yeah,
We have not
it's
seen
like
Dathomir in live action, which would be fucking epic. And I wish because I love Maul. I personally love Maul as
yeah.
a character and as he's probably my favorite Sith, not including Vader because I don't include Vader because he's Anakin.
Mm. Dooku's probably one of my favorite. Dooku's a bad man. He's
I
such a
mean,
bad bro. The way he be sliding on the Night Sisters will forever make him goaded for me. I needed that off him.
he was sliding on the Nine
Yeah,
Sisters.
that shit's sucking cold as hell, bro. Don't pull up on that man while sleeping, bro. Come on now. Don't fuck with him. But what
Yeah. So
there
I
was
guess
something
we.
else. Oh yeah, no. I was just gonna say my least favorite character real quick, but
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot you didn't say yours. Go ahead.
I don't think I said my favorite. I think I just nodded when you said Lando, which I'm just gonna agree with because I really couldn't think of anyone else.
You were
Least
the one who
favorite
said Lando first.
that I oops.
Yeah.
Least favorite. Who'd you say? You
L
said
three. I said L three through
L3.
seven. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Beckett just because he really is like a nothing character. Like they were trying to like make him so like
You could say
wow.
any of these fucking characters,
Yeah.
man.
They just tried to make
The
him so like
forearm
oh
guy that
wow.
fucking John Favreau
Yeah.
voices. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been
Yeah,
more
that whole
interested in getting a story about him. He was an interesting character, and then they killed him.
I mean they all got smoked in the beginning there. Like I wasn't mad at that, but I don't know the whole concept of like a heist getting messed up and then having to do another heist to supersede the previous one is I don't know, man. There's nothing inherently interesting about that shit because like obviously
I
they're
mean,
gonna
yeah, I'm just thinking of more yeah-ites now that we're just sitting here. 'Cause I was
yeah
gonna bring something up.
yeah, but I'd probably just give it to Beckett. But we can move on because I'm already getting tired of talking about this.
Yeah,
17 minutes in, I'm off this.
yeah, we so what's next? Make or break moments.
Mhm.
Surprise to absolutely fucking nobody, or if there is, I'm sorry if you like this movie. Um,
I'm not sorry.
the only the
This
only
is
good,
objectively not a good movie.
I mean, yeah, the only good scene is the scene with Maul. Like that is it. We posted like I was struggling trying to find a scene, like a not like huge spoilery scene to post on the fucking as a reel on the Instagram, and like that's the only good fucking scene. It's the only epic scene. Like maybe like nah, like that's it. That's really it.
Yeah, because like the fighting was terrible. Like anytime there was like a fist fight, it was just so messy and so like, oh,
The
everyone's getting
Kessel
thrown
Run
around.
was not as epic. I mean, there were some good shots, like that Star
Yeah, of course it's
Destroyer.
Star Wars. Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
Star.
exactly.
That's a fucking tough. It's Star Wars though. It's like
But like it wasn't as like epic. Like the Kessel Run was just whatever. And then he guess you
yeah,
did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
yeah. Still calling it a unit of time. That's fine though, because that was just a callback to the OT. It's like obviously
Yeah,
nowadays people know that that
yeah,
shit
but
isn't a
it's
unit
like
of
the
time.
Kessel Run, whatever. Fucking, um, every scene is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's like
Besides that,
if I had the audio off and watched this movie, I'd be like, yeah, this is an alright movie. But like it's when you turn the audio on, it's like I don't want to hear what they have to say. Like
they're
that's
just,
a terrible look for a movie. It's like if you're
but
just
it's
watching it,
true
if it's like
though.
if you just if like if the story was told just like in frames, like a comic panel or something like that, I think it would be a lot better because like you don't have to see like the in between where they're just like I don't even know what they're doing. Like then you had like that monster that like that could have been a legitimate like problem, and then they just kind of were like, oh, he's gonna get juked out by an escape pod, and then get sucked into a black hole that he lives beside. Like
Makes sense.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I don't
There's
know what
really
they're
nothing epic
cooking.
about. Not like nothing. But I guess
Yeah,
then
because
we can
then they
move
try to
on
play the music
to.
when like there's a cool scene. They try to play the music where
And
it's
there's
like,
not a cool
yes,
scene.
this is a throwback to when this music played when something actually good happened.
And now we're not getting that.
Nope.
But I guess then we can move on to
Um,
quotes,
break.
which there
We
aren't
didn't do any
any.
breaks.
Oh, breaks. A fucking
I have
we're
yeah,
like um Han speaking Wookiee and then not speaking
yeah.
Wookiee the entire rest of the thing when Chewbacca could understand basic in the Clone Wars and in Episode 3. Okay. Um.
That's
Oh,
just Disney mad knowing the story they're writing.
the biggest fucking I don't know if it's a break, if it's yeah, but like I almost turned the movie off when this fucking scene came on, and it is like 10 minutes in, and as you DL, you probably know exactly which one it is. Uh, Han, what's your last name?
What is it? Oh
I
my
don't have.
fucking god, bro! It's so
I don't
corny.
have one.
Like that's
Is it
Disney Star Wars in
Han
a fucking
Solo?
nutshell.
Like
He's like
no, no.
he he looked at the he looked at the fucking billing and it was like, oh, you're Han Solo. He looked at the billing for the fucking cast. Like, come on, man.
Why? Like
It's like
why?
what
Why
happened?
did you
Like
need?
I've been saying this
You didn't
forever.
need
I
an
feel like
origin to
what
his
happened to
name.
subtlety, man? Like
We didn't need an origin for fucking
how
Han
about just
Solo. It could have just been his name, Han Solo.
yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm like, how about we just make his name Han Solo and we just call it that? It's like we don't need a deep dive into Han Solo's character. Like this man is, it's Han Solo. Like I don't know, like he's not that interesting. Like yeah, Harrison Ford was super charismatic and also super attractive. Like he's fucking handsome. Like him and Leia had great chemistry.
But there's a
That's
reason he
kind of as
kept
far as it
asking
goes.
for his
That's
character
where
to
it starts and
die.
where it ends.
There is a reason he was
Like
asking for his character to die. There's not much that you can
because he
do
was
with
just a
him.
pretty face.
He's a
Yeah,
smuggler.
he's a pretty face. Like he's mm-hmm. Like yeah, sure. He's a cool character to like to have like you're switching in between him and a more interesting story, also known as Luke fighting fucking Darth Vader in the episode 4, but 5, whatever the fuck it is 6. But I don't know, man. I don't know why he got a movie, especially before Obi-Wan or like anything else. I think I would have rather had the Mace Windu show, to be honest with you, compared to a Han Solo show. But that's another story for another time.
Yeah.
Breaks. What else do I got? Can you hear me, Egg? Are you
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. What are the
It
breaks
was
you
what I
got?
said in the beginning. Just throwing a whole bunch of A-listers at the movie and expecting it to be good. That's a classic fucking recipe for disaster. I don't know what the fuck they thought they were thinking. It's just I don't know. There's just no enthusiasm in this movie. Like Han Solo is just underacted. Like he's supposed to be like this super cool under pressure and all that kind of stuff. But it just came off as him being an idiot, and like that's kind of Han Solo's character, sure, but I don't know. It just didn't really resonate with me. Like I didn't watch this and be like, yes, that's the story that picks up right in New Hope. Like no, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
We did not need this. If they really wanted to give us this story of like how Han met Chewie and got the Falcon and met Lando and this, that, and the other thing, guess what? Give us a fucking book. There's so many of them. This would have been a much better story to be in a book, because I mentioned this earlier
Can't
before
make
we
money
started
that way though.
recording.
Can't make money like that.
Well, I mean they can, just not as much. Um, but so I mentioned this to you earlier, is that this novelization, the end of the novelization, after Han flies off of whatever that planet they're on at the end of the movie, after he flies off, it pans back down to
Another fucking
Emphas Nest
sand
on the
planet.
island. Yeah, whatever that is. It pans back down to Emphas Nest on the island or on the planet, giving the coaxium to Saw Gerrera and a young Jyn Erso to help fuel the rebellion. Why was that not
See, that
in
makes
the
sense.
fucking movie?
Because you know why. Come on now, Ag. You know.
Because Disney.
It had to be. It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been. I mean, the entire part of Memphis Nest is so stupid. Like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe that Han Solo would give up 10 million credits just like that because he feels guilty. Like, look, maybe he
Especially,
gives them some.
especially
Maybe he
Han
gives
Solo.
them
No, especially
half.
Han Solo pre Episode 4. Especially
Exactly,
Han
because
Solo.
Luke is the one who makes him good. Luke is the one who fucking warms his heart. Him and Leia, like that's the whole point of their fucking dynamic, is that they all make each other better. Whatever the hell, whatever you like. It's just Han's a fucking dirtbag in 4, literally, quite literally. Like the man doesn't give a shit about anybody. He's about to leave Luke. He's about to leave all of them. Leave the princess. He's just trying to get paid. The entire reason that he went to the fucking Alderaan, and then obviously all that shit happened afterwards, is because he was trying to get paid, and he was told a ridiculous amount of money he'd be paid. Like that's the Han Solo that I'm thinking about when he turns down 10 million credits to give it to some fucking rebels. He didn't believe in the rebellion. He didn't even believe in any of that shit. Like I don't know, man. It's like sure, oh, maybe he's younger, so he's more. I don't know. He's nah.
No. And it's for me, it's also so hard to believe. And now I haven't read the prequel novel to this about Han and Kira, but it also just it makes no sense to me how like he's so head over heels over Kira, wanting to go back for her after
But
5
then it ends and
years.
he's no better off.
He's no better off, and then we just never like. I get in the comics and stuff now, yeah, she is, but like he just like in 4 years from now, he's just gonna pull up on Leia and just be like, yeah, like not mention anything about Kira.
Nah.
Like maybe I don't know. It's just very. I get like some people get over breakups or things like that some easily, like in the real world and shit like that too. But it's just like it's just unbelievable or hard to fathom, just that this character that meant so much to him for pretty much his entire life up until this point just doesn't get mentioned again.
I just think like the whole situation was pretty fucking weird. Like she didn't even say goodbye to his ass. She just left. Sorry, so maybe she wanted to spare him. She didn't want to fucking have that scene. Whatever. But then like even the look he gives, like he doesn't even look that upset. The fact that the woman he's literally like you said head over heels for. Literally the minute she comes back into his life, he is fucking. He's
Ecstatic.
horny. Like he
Yeah.
wants his slices. He said he needs that. And then she just fucking leaves at the end. It's like, bro, why does this movie exist? Like so now we got a very mediocre origin story. So like basically all that happened is Han got the Millennium Falcon. Like that entire story was a roundabout way
Eventually.
of explaining how Han got the Millennium Falcon. Like that's
That's it.
fucking wild, man. Like we just spent, and especially it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's like
It's a
we could have
long ass
skipped literally
fucking
everything
movie.
from the beginning. Like so, like that beginning scene could have been cutscenes laid out throughout the movie. Like maybe like like you keep seeing that until he sees Kira again, and then that kind of like stitches. Like I don't know. I just don't
And
think it was.
no,
I got beef with movies that just dump the fucking beginning in the beginning, and it's like, all right, you'll remember this throughout the movie. There's it's just so amateurish in my opinion, especially for a
another thing
studio
that,
this big.
yeah, and another thing that gets me tight is how much they focus on those stupid gold dice, because you cannot even see the dice in the fucking OT unless you're like looking at stupid specific shots and it's in like minute details. But then all of a sudden it was like this MacGuffin in episode fucking 8, and then they just needed to bring it up again in this movie.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. That shit's stupid as hell.
I guess
Like,
we'll just move on to quotes, which
just
honestly I'm fine moving past that even because I don't even have any.
yeah. Uh, but I have one more break. I was saying, why did the fucking Wookiees not look like Chewbacca? Why the fuck did they look like Chaka from Land of the Lost? Like, what the fuck is that
Bro,
about?
I was thinking they
Like,
looked
anyone
like
who watched that
fucking.
movie, you know what I'm talking about.
I thought they were looking like fucking Harry from Harry and the Hendersons too. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but
Yeah,
if
like
you,
anyone who
it's
watched, I
but
haven't.
yeah, they're all yeah. The Wookiees were looking weird because like even like Tarful and all the Wookiees we saw in the prequels were not looking like these Wookiees. Maybe they're like a different subspecies of Wookiees from like maybe that's what happens from them living on Kessel or something like that around all the spice.
Hold up. Everyone needs to take a look at this. These are the Wookiees that we were
Okay,
seeing.
it's loading on my end.
This is how the other Wookiees were looking in Solo. It's just a quick little something. I don't know why I kept thinking of Chaka from Land of Lost. Good ass fucking movie, by the way. Anyone seen it? Do you see
Oh
it, Egg? Or am
yeah,
I just gonna?
yeah.
I'm
I'm
about to
looking
just
at it right now. I'm looking at it now,
literally that motherfucker. Hold up, let me get this
bro. I
one.
saw this movie fucking
Literally, that's
relatively
how they were
recently. I forgot about that.
goated as movie. So stupid. But regardless, moving on. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck they were looking like that. It didn't seem like you could fuck up a species that already existed, but I mean, they also did that to the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, so they kind of
That
gotta.
the the Grand Inquisitor, like
He
you
just
could
needed more
because
makeup. He just needed more makeup. That's
yeah,
all.
it's because it's and because of stunts and stuff, it was a little restricted because we
I don't
saw
want
a
to hear
species.
about that. This is a $1 billion company. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about their fucking shortcomings. I'm off
Well,
that.
no. It's not a technological shortcoming. It's just you try having
Yeah,
someone get flipped and tossed around with like a fucking a head that's like 3 times the size of their head,
yeah.
and
I
then
mean,
or having CGI do it and it looked like fucking garbage.
yeah, I guess so. I just don't like hearing that excuse when it comes to
No, but no,
literally
look, I
the
agree.
highest.
He still looks weird as fuck, but I mean, it's a little at least a little more believable than and better looking than stuff shit like fucking Tarkin and Leia from Rogue One.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's move on from this because I don't want to talk about the breaks anymore.
Yeah, I move past quotes too because I don't have any for that.
The only quote I'll say, I have two. The one that I actually did like when he's like, when Kira was like, "What should we drink to?" He's like, "Let's have two and see where it goes." Like, I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is
that
a
was
nice.
that's like a Han Solo esque quote, and it's crazy that there's only like one of those in the entire movie. But that shit was actually pretty nice. That was sleek. Might have to remember that one.
Honestly, so my issue was is also is like this movie is forgettable
Oh
through
my
and
god,
through.
yes. Oh
I like
yeah.
I just watched it like last week and I already forgot like everything that fuck I had to refresh myself because
hmm
there's fucking it's so forgettable. But
hmm
continue your second quote.
Oh, what the hell is going on over there, Hag? Is everything
My
all
back
right?
yeah, my background my fucking Indiana Jones shit. Dude, look, fucking Harrison
Indy.
Ford heard us talking and he needed to
God
fucking
damn
cause
it.
it comeuppance.
The number one hater of Disney is also its most paid,
That's true.
the most paid hater.
And he's
I'll talk
coming
about.
back. And he's coming back.
It's just wild, man. Like it really shows you that like if you play your cards right, you can get like fuck second chances. We're talking about like 10th chances here. This man has no. I'm not gonna. Anyone who
Bro,
hasn't doesn't know the
he shit on
story. Just
episode 7. He shit on episode 8. He
he said on
reappeared in
all of
episode
them.
yeah,
He
he
literally said
reappeared in
fucking that
episode
he
1.
hated the OT. Like he said that shit was stupid as hell. Him and Alec Guinness fucking hated Star Wars the OT. It's like
They
Han
still
Solo.
I
Like,
don't know.
when he started making money, he liked it a little more, obviously. But like episode 4, they were ragging on that movie, bro. They fucking hated it. Cause Han Solo was bigger at that time already. Harrison Ford. It's like he didn't
Yeah.
need the exposure. But whatever. Another story. Another time.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Oh, when Kira fucking says to Han, when she's like, "You have no idea the things I've done. You wouldn't be looking at me if you knew." It's like, go on. What did you do? Because I have a
She
feeling that it's
fucked
something
with
in.
Dryden.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why I said no. Even when he fucking Dryden at the end of the movie, when
Bro,
he's like,
hold
"You
on.
have no idea what she's
Bettany?
done."
Why is Paul Bettany always pulling? He got Amelia Clark. He got Elizabeth Olsen. Why is Paul Bettany always pulling? Always. Gets me tight. Not
because
gonna lie.
he got the lean back fucking procedure because he's a fucking known name actor now. Where he's only pulling up if he's having a freaking bad woman at his side. And then he even reiterates it at the end of the story when like Kira like turns on Han, turns on him when
Whatever.
she's like, when no, he's like, oh, you have no ideas the things she's done or something. And he has like this smug look on his face. I'm like, how many times are we gonna allude to this without getting any fucking? I want to know what she's up to, bro. I
What did
need
she
to
do,
know.
bro?
Let's say that's baby girl, bro. Amelia Clark is OG baby girl. Like I need to know what she's doing, bro. I gotta make sure she's still pure for when when me and her hit the town sometime. We're all right. So yeah, that's. I don't have anything more for quotes. We can just go into yites because I have quite a few.
Oh yeah, go. Right, I already like I said before, like the Han's name,
Mm-hmm.
fucking the
Him
Wookiees.
talking to Wookiee, yeah, him speaking Wookiee or whatever the hell it's called.
Wookiee. It's called Wookiee.
Yeah, so him just literally the only person ever communicating with a Wookiee to speak Wookiee, I think, ever in Star Wars. Like you have Yoda talking to
Yeah,
Tarfor and fucking
yeah.
Chewbacca speaking in like you said, galactic
You
basic. Like
this is the first time we have ever
and it's
heard.
and as honestly, there's a reason why this is the first time because it comes off so bad.
It just sounds like he's gurgling.
Yeah, exactly. Because like because it's
Like
stupid because he's not a fucking Wookiee, so he doesn't have the vocal fucking shit
vocal
to
cords
do it.
for it.
Yeah. It's like, of course it's gonna sound stupid. It's like me trying to freaking speak like a language a lot of rolling when I just don't have the fucking physiological whatever. Um, what else? What did you got anything egregious? I got a couple ones, and I'm just gonna freaking
This is what I'm talking about. I mean, fucking Han giving away to Emphas Nest. We
yeah, like
already
that's
mentioned.
it's just not a Han thing to do, man. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if anything, I would maybe he split it, maybe he splits it, but he's not giving away 10 million fucking credits worth of fucking
Um,
coaxium. Like,
L3 surviving and then getting uploaded into the ship.
never to be seen again, heard from again.
Actually, she
Stupid.
is in a book. Of course, it's a book, but
Yeah, okay. That's fine then. But still, it's not in the mainstream fucking medium
oh,
of
trust
movies
me,
and TV shows.
trust me. Next week, I have a lot of issues with that, but we'll go into that. That's a story for next week for me to dive into. Um, I'm trying to remember. Like that's the issue with this movie. It's so forgettable. I'm trying to remember them.
Yeah.
If you say some of yours, it'll probably jog my memory a little bit
Yeah.
too.
I mean, them just protecting the ship on Kessel and the hot Lando just being like cowboy, being in the fucking wide open area with a yellow jacket on. It's like,
Not
look,
getting
I
hit.
get it. I get it. I get it. No one has good aim in Star Wars besides the main characters. That's fine. I'm not even mad at that. But you got to at least have cover, man. You have to. You
Oh,
have to. Like,
I have another one. How this is the third time we've seen Pikes in the franchise. The second time that we've seen Pike, well, the first time technically,
Pikes are fucking hideous.
I mean, yeah, but they look different every fucking time. They look different in Clone
Yeah.
Wars. They look different in this. They look different in fucking the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of
Oh,
Mid.
don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. That's something I don't like to speak on.
Just the Pikes are just hideous.
Yeah.
I don't like how they look different every fucking time we see them.
Yeah. And it's so weird, like how you have like this huge, all these crime syndicates, and like you just never really hear about them. Like they're kind of just like only there when like it's time to make a different story. I don't know. It's like there's like five of them, and like we like sure actually that's not true because we have the huts. We have the huts that we see
So
quite a bit of.
we hear about them. It's just those are more for the underground, the stuff that they save for the TV shows and the movies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why or not the movie, the TV shows and the books and the stuff, and which is
Mm-hmm.
why I like Star Wars so much because they have if you want all these different stories,
Yeah.
like there's a story about um squadrons over here. There's a political story about Leia and the New Republic finding out that Vader's her father and like those repercussions.
Mm.
There's so much fucking dropping shit now. Um, and that's the stuff I like about Star Wars is because they can expand about like characters in Canto Bite and fucking this shit that I just finished reading with Thrawn. But I lost my train of thought, so it just
I mean,
gets
I
me
know what
tight.
you mean.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, another thing, I'm not even gonna speak too much on this because it's fucking stupid. Like the whole deflector shields thing. Like I don't understand them. I'm never going to
I will never
understand them.
understand shields
Yeah,
in Star
the
Wars.
shield deflectors. I'll never get it. I don't know why they're not always on. I don't know why sometimes you're deflecting. Whatever. Regardless, it's one of those things where like it's just a quality of life thing where like I wish they were just so simple. It's like the whole point of Star Wars that like it's like all of those sci-fi things where like it's just so simple. It's like all right, there's a hyperdrive, you can go hyperspeed. That's it. That's all we have to think about. You don't think about anything else. It's simple. It's digestible because that shit's fucking insane in obviously in practice. But it's like you make it simple. It's sci-fi. It's fantasy. You can make up things. All you have to do is make up one thing that's fake and just have everything else revolve around it, and you're fine. But it's like I don't know. It's like when they're running away from the TIE fighters and you're just watching them get shot endlessly. It's like, come on, man. And then the ship is like every 2 seconds you're seeing someone like get tossed, fucking fire shooting into the ship. It's like, don't you have like super volatile coaxium on board right now? Do you think he'd be more careful
It's
the way
not,
he's driving?
nothing's happening to the coaxium.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he put no, don't worry, he put it in the underneath the ship. It's like, bro, you're getting shot from all sides. But uh, no more of that. No more me bitching about that because that is I understand that is just kind of that's just the it comes with the territory of Star Wars. And the last one is just gonna be Maul just sitting around waiting for that call, bro. He was just sitting there like this. She's gonna call soon. Like just fucking posted up, looking dummy menacing. It's like the
I
minute
thought
she
he
turned the
called
key,
her. I thought
he's
he called her.
did he?
I thought he
Because she
called her,
could
and she was accepting the call.
no, because as soon as she turned the key, that's when everything started closing, and then he was just fucking posted up there. I thought because I just watched
Yeah,
it.
oh no, she was accepting the call. She closed. She turned the key so that way no one could see or enter. That's what the
Okay,
key was for. She was accepting the call from all, and I'm pretty sure the
okay,
guy or she knew that she
Voss.
had the
Okay.
what?
No, I was just. I mean, it makes more. Like I said, another one of those things that's not going to change the movie for me or anybody else. It's just more
Yeah,
like it's just stupid when like she's just turning the key and Maul's just like just been sitting there like waiting. He's been waiting for that call. He's like,
almost.
I've been waiting for your sweet and sour chicken ass to give me a call. What's up, baby?
I do appreciate that they used Sam Witwick, the voice from the Clone Wars, Sam Worthing, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck his name. I can't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. His voice with
that
Ray
makes
Park's
sense.
body.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes the most sense because I mean, you get one line of dialogue out of him in the episode one, so there's no reason to bring him back. And I do like
He
that
has
voice.
one.
I think that fits him a lot more too. I think it's pretty similar. It's not like super contrast like from episode one, but it's just the thing. It's just the voice we're most familiar with. So like it just makes sense. Like it's like that's how you tie the universes together is by having the same voice actors because like that's Maul. Like you hear it and it's like all right, this is the guy from Clone Wars.
Yeah, which is why I appreciate that, especially because like he based his Maul off of Ray, like the one line that Ray Park says in fucking the first movie, and then he like added more anger and like more shit
Mm-hmm.
to it to develop it into what it is. But it's the same thing like we saw Zeb in from Rebels in season 3 of The Mandalorian, and he's still voiced by Steve Blum, and it's just shit like that where it's like
How
that's
you gonna
fucking
spoil
cool.
that for me, bro? Come on now.
He's in one scene for fucking 3 minutes.
I don't care. I'm joking. I'm trying to think. Nah, I mean the whole thing about them needing L4 to get through the maelstrom, and then they just go into the maelstrom like way before they even have like her knowing that it's going to work. Like he even said it was theoretical. Then they're just like, nah, I'm gonna drive in,
It'll work.
and we're
Yeah,
gonna go from there.
it'll work.
But besides that, I think I'm just gonna bring this mic really close to my face and start talking real slow and real sensually.
It's
Welcome
time, isn't it?
welcome everybody to the thirsty moment of the movie. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody's eating well, sleeping well, all that stuff. But let's get down to it. Let's get down to the brass tacks here. It's Amelia Clark because she's a bad woman. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That outfit that she's first wearing when Han first sees her for the first time.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that one might be
Need
my
that.
favorite.
I like it when she got the cape on, but I'm also a sucker for a cape, so.
That was it. You are the biggest fucking cocksucker for a cape.
Oh, I love capes. Capes are tough.
I was
Capes are
like, you
hard.
you literally wanted to be Superman for the sheer fact of you just needed a cape.
Yeah, bro. I never had a cape. I never worn a costume with a cape before, and I will say it's hard. Like as long as it's not long. Like
Well,
it was the
well,
perfect height. It was like right at like my calves. Perfect height.
I mean, yeah, that's the fuck. The cloak of levitation was tough as fuck too.
Hmm. I just like it's just tough when you got something like blowing in the wind. Like when there's a wind, like a slight breeze, and that shit's just kind of like got a little bit of volume to it. I fuck with that heavy. Shit's fire.
Yeah,
What
but
are
I
you
mean,
chiefing on?
my pen. Um, Yeah, I mean it is Amelia Clark though. Like I said,
Yeah, of
for me,
course.
that first outfit that she's fucking in when Han finds her in
Hmm.
uh
Oh
in the
yeah, when she got the
Crimson Dawn.
cleavage, she got the
Yeah.
cleavage peeking a little bit.
Don't
Yeah,
turn me up.
that was
Also,
nice.
just the
Needed that.
fucking. I just think that it also I just really like the design of the Crimson Dawn logo, like and how they
Mm,
implement it into like her fucking uh dress. That shit
yeah,
just looks really nice.
I agree. But that's really all I got. I mean, she's a very freaking attractive woman. Yeah,
Very. I'm
I saw
excited to
that.
see her
Yeah.
in
Secret
um
Invasion.
yay that. Very excited for that actually. It's just
Yeah, I need that offer.
it's hard to be excited for Marvel right now, but I am excited at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's a very lonely,
Anyways,
lonely existence.
yeah. Anyways, it is time, of course, as usual, every Saturday ish, because it's definitely not going to be posted this Saturday. Um, we take to Instagram at the Staincast to ask you guys a lovely question, get you involved, and see what you guys are thinking. DL, we got to start a second volume for this because this is getting fucking egregious.
Yeah, OD, OD. You're literally
So, holy
fucking
fucking responses!
what? Hold on one second.
We
Yeah,
got a
this
lot
is
of
this is
responses.
this is disgusting. Like this is quite literally over. This is over 52. No, it's more than that.
It's almost a
'Cause-
year. I think it's over a
yeah,
year since we've had the Instagram. So we need to do a volume 2 because it's getting fucking egregious. Tapping through all these.
yeah, OD.
So that's something for fucking me and DL to discuss outside of this. I don't know why we were just chatting about that. But we asked you guys this week at the Staincast, of course, what your favorite Star Wars spin-off was. We told you to include the games. We told you to include the books. We told you to include everything. Um, to see, what you guys thought, because there's a lot of them. It's not. I mean, Solo, of course, is the most well, not most recent, but the most recent film one. But there's still plenty to go over, and we got plenty to discuss.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
First off, I'm just gonna go over and group all the ones that said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. William Banks and myself are the only ones who said Clone Wars. You fucking cretins. We'll go over that. I'll talk more about Clone Wars in a bit though. Mr. RP24, not to be confused with Chet Stable, Mr. Chet Stable, and Mr. Father Queel all said The Force Unleashed. Father Queel also said KOTOR because Revan is forever the goat, and he says he doesn't care what Disney says uh, about him. He's canon regardless. Like he's canon in the Disney canon. Revan is canon, so he doesn't have to worry about that aspect of it. But I know what he's saying because
I
KOTOR
mean,
it's
but
canon.
it's also which version of Revan. I'm sure Revan's probably fucking. I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm sure he's just very conflicted about something. Something's got him
No, it's the
down.
same. It's the same Revan.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, read a book.
Nah, I'm talking about Disney's fucking like animated and like movie projects, like their projects and films.
We ain't getting a live
No,
action.
no, we're never
We're
gonna
not
get it.
gonna
You know,
get a live action
we're
Revan.
never gonna get it. But like, whatever. You can keep going.
So fucking Mumbarilla said Mando tough. Olivia Jones also said Mandalorian Daddy Pascal. She'll probably tap into that a little more when she's on next week. And then Willie B. Joe CMO Ho said Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I still have to cop that.
That shit's coded. I didn't even play it, and I know it's coded.
I mean, yeah. But Willie B also said, elaborating on, so he said Clone Wars. Anyone who says otherwise is a separatist pig.
True.
But any of the Battlefront games are unbeatably his favorite games. And he said not to forget Republic Commando and, of course, all of the Lego games. I'm horny.
That last part was important.
Yeah, very important. So, do you want to go over yours first, or do you want me to go about Clone Wars first? Because I will be talking for a while.
You can go first because I'm trying to figure it out. I jokingly said all the projects they never released because like they have a really bad rap for announcing projects
And
and
then
then
not
just not
releasing them.
fucking doing anything with them.
Yeah.
So that I had to give the shout out to like the probably hundreds of projects and just productions that they've said that's gonna happen, and then
and
never.
scrapped. So all
Yeah,
right, so then
tell us a
for
story about
Clone
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars came out. It was a Cartoon Network animated show, of course. I mean, it was great. It was goated. As someone who my favorite movie is Revenge of the Sith. As someone who loves uh, the prequel era and Anakin and Obi-Wan, like this is the best way to get those stories. Like you get so much into that. You get so much lore with the Mandalorians, which are epic. You get so much lore with Maul and more of the Sith with Dooku and Asajj, and you get to see Palpatine in action. You get to like anything you want to like get from that era of Star Wars, you can find in Clone Wars. You see so many different Jedi and so many different clones. They humanize the clones. And I talked about this when we were talking about our favorite Order 66s because it also has my favorite Order 66 in it. And especially once they brought it back for that final season on Disney Plus to close it out and to give us that final arc to set up Bad Batch and then do the Siege of Mandalore, it's just it it was masterful. And like I watched the Siege of Mandalore the other day, and it still is beautiful. I mean, it lives up to equally of with Revenge of the Sith of being one of the best Star Wars projects ever. Because it's so good, it's so put together. It ends Clone Wars perfectly. You feel every moment of it, and like Vader picking up Ahsoka's lightsaber at the very end of the last
That's tough.
episode, like it's so beautiful. And it just Clone Wars means a lot because like we grew up with Clone Wars. I grew up watching Clone Wars on Cartoon Network. I watched Clone Wars on Disney
Yeah, back
XD
when
when it got
General
transferred
Grievous
to that.
was quite literally the most horrifying fucking thing imaginable. He was horrifying looking in the OG Clone Wars. I don't know why I remember his
He
face
was,
so, but
but
he's fucking terrifying looking.
but the 3D animated Clone Wars by far, hands down, will forever be my favorite Star Wars spin-off because
Hmm.
it develops my favorite characters. It's in my favorite era. It gives us so much lore and world building. Like I love Mandalorians because of what came from Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just undoubtedly it's so epic.
I agree. I mean, Clone Wars. I think I spoke. We talked about it before. Clone Wars is probably my favorite era in Star Wars because there's so much going on. Like, there's so much more than just like the uh, Luke versus Darth Vader and Emperor plotline that's going on in the OT. And I love the OT. The OT is my favorite still. But the Clone Wars, you just have so much branches. There's so much more going on, just in terms of the Jedi spreading across the galaxy more. Like when obviously when they're going around like trying to stop the Separatists and stuff. Just all the development of Anakin beside Obi-Wan. I agree. Like it's in terms of I think I'll just narrow it down to be like I really love Starkiller or whatever his name is, like from Force Unleashed. I think
Yeah.
because it's just a different take on it. I think it's like a very refreshing story compared to what we're used to seeing from Star Wars. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but just in general, I think I'd probably have to give it. I'm not even sure which Clone Wars project, but I definitely have to give this something in the Clone Wars too. It's just
I don't know if I could specifically like I give it to the entirety, like the entire show, all 7 seasons,
mm-hmm,
all the episodes, because there's so many good arcs in there. The Mortis
mm,
arc, the Ahsoka getting kicked out of the Order, like I already
yeah,
said, the Siege of Mandalore, the Bad Batch,
yeah.
there's so much that gets
Yeah,
introduced.
there's so much going on where like it's kind of just it's easy for me to say Clone Wars because Star Wars is so lore rich where there's so many niches for everybody. Like there's so many different time periods where it's like, yeah, I really like the Old Republic. Or I really like the Clone Wars. I like the Imperial. I like the Empire. If you say anything
New
about the
Republic.
First Order, you're wrong. Uh, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah,
And of course,
it's
Andor is a great spinoff too, but it's just the fact that it doesn't involve Jedi is like it just limits it. Even though I love stories that like don't necessarily have to be about Jedi, it's just you're always missing that element. Like when you're in the Star Wars universe, you're definitely missing out if you don't have at least something to do with the Jedi in your story because like that's the part of
bread and
the
butter.
that's the bread and butter exactly. That's the bread and butter of the Star Wars universe is the Force wielders.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for the question of the week. Thank you
Yeah,
guys, of course, for answering. We do appreciate your lovely responses. Stay tuned for later today, from when you guys are hearing this. We'll be posting the question of the week for next week's episode.
I'm gonna fucking
But
shoot myself next week, guys. I'm gonna keep it buck with you.
look, DL. We only got 2 categories left, and we can just bang through this episode. And then we got it.
I say we say fuck the numbers because the shit's fucking washed right now, and there's really nothing
That's
like. There's nothing
that's
too
fine.
crazy about the
Nothing
numbers. I'll give you guys a quick. I'm not even gonna show it on the screen. I'm gonna take a look and see if there's anything unusual. Nope. Average weight is not 6.8, 6.9. Sorry,
general.
6.9 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. I would have put it a little lower, but like in terms of just like Star Wars, it always has that super. It's a super. People love it. There's a huge fan base, so of course people are gonna rate it a little bit higher than maybe it should have been. But you know, doesn't have anything egregious. I'm looking at the chart right now. Feel free to look on if you're interested. But it's yeah, it's fucking the highest is a 7, 6, 6 and 8 are the next highest, and then it pretty much goes. It's normally distributed after that. Yeah. Time for the only numbers that actually matter. I'm
Yes,
taking
sir.
Haig's fucking quote from him. Let's just jump right into it. Let's get this done real quick. I don't got much to say on this. I'll start with the story / writing. I honestly wanted to give it a 3. I felt a little bad giving this a 2, but I'm gonna give it a 2 just because
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
if this isn't in the Star Wars universe, this is legitimately a very bad movie. Not very bad, but it's a bad movie. Like it's not a good movie. Like
It's an uninteresting movie.
yes, it's very it's
If
dull.
if it wasn't in the universe it's in with the characters that it has, bare bones of that, it just wouldn't. It
No.
wouldn't. It wouldn't be watchable. Moving
It's
on
just
to
a waste.
acting. Moving on to acting, I also give it a 2 because everyone kind of phones in their fucking things,
Yeah, absolutely. It's
except for Lando.
back to what I was saying before. It's like you have all these A-listers, you put them together, and it's just a fucking clown fest. Like everyone's just like, look at this, I'm freaking
Like literally,
speaking about nothing. Like
Lando is the only character that actually like feels like he's having fun and is actually being the
he's
character.
interested. Yeah, exactly. He's actually interested in like making his character like he appreciates the history he's part of. Like it's more than just getting a paycheck and being able to say you were in the Star Wars universe. It's like, all right, I'm in the Star Wars universe, so let's not like fuck it up, like kind of thing. And I respect that.
Yeah. Originality, I'm bumping this all the way down to a 2. It's a stark contrast from every fucking Star Wars movie previous to it, but we didn't need this story.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to.
We just didn't need it. It's unoriginal. It doesn't give us much. It doesn't give us anything at all, really.
No.
And it's just an origin story for Han Solo that we did not need, especially in this format.
No, absolutely not. I completely agree with you. I mean, honestly, it's better that it was a movie because if this came out during like their TV era that they've been going on recently, it would be fucking awful. I can call it right now. I'm just gonna be straight up. That shit would be ass. But moving to rewatchability, I'm gonna give it a 1. Sorry guys. There's besides
I'm right there with you.
Like that. What is it? 10-second clip with Maul is the only thing you ever need. Is the only thing you ever need to see from this movie, and like that's very sad. So yeah, would you have it? You would have it as a 1 also?
Yeah, I have no intention to rewatch this movie again.
Oh my God, no. I don't know. I just don't know. Like when I'm thinking about rewatchability, I have to like kind of take like back up and step out of my own head and be like, why would someone want to watch it? Like besides obviously it's Star Wars, so maybe you're doing a marathon, whatever. It's a different story. But just in general, why would you put this on? And there's just no reason. There's no reason that you should ever put this movie on. Even if it's on live TV, find something else. And unfortunately, the bread and butter of Star Wars, I'm going to give it a 4 for cinematography just because it's fucking Star Wars. Like the CGI was good. There was no part where I was like, ooh, because it's 2018. CGI is pretty freaking, it's pretty spiffy. The ice cream.
Damn, the ice cream man.
I fucking Mr. Soft now. I gotta show. I was about to fucking about to bum rush him
real quick.
Yeah, I was about to freaking pause the Staincast, a mandatory freaking halftime break. Cinematography is a 4. Star Wars looks good, a good looking movie. Like it had great shots, just like it's like every Star Wars movie is supposed to. Honestly, at this point,
that Star Destroyer shot is my favorite in the entire fucking movie. That shit is so tough.
Which one?
The Star Destroyer in the fucking
oh yeah.
Run. Coming out the clouds with the red and the stuff. Oh, beautiful.
Like it wasn't it wasn't like an over the top like beautiful looking movie, but like at the end of the day, like this like the space travel looked really crispy. Yeah, like even the creature, like that big ass creature, like with that black hole, like that was a good looking shot. Like I can't speak for the story that's being told behind it, but the shot itself is good.
Yeah, but For me, that puts Solo, A Star Wars Story, at an 11 out of
Yep.
20.
It's about right.
Don't watch this movie.
Don't watch this movie.
I don't
Yeah,
plan.
don't watch it.
I don't plan on watching this movie again. It's mid, does nothing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's even more downhill from here. Because thank you guys for tuning in this week. We appreciate you guys. Of course, listening. Stay tuned for next week, where we will be covering the entirety of the sequel trilogy in one episode with a very special guest. So stay tuned, because we're putting ourselves through this hell for you guys. So you better fucking like it. And while you're doing that, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Staincast. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Music. Click our merch link in the bio. Buy some merch. Have some fun. Ring that bell. DL, take us out of here.
The sequel trilogy sucks, and I am going to be going through physical anguish doing it. So I would appreciate if you guys tuned in next week, because if I'm gonna have to do this, I'd at least rather someone be there to watch me suffer, so I'm not alone. That's all.
You
Thank
won't
you guys
be
for
alone.
watching.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you. We'll both be suffering together.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this week. We'll see you hopefully next Thursday. Hopefully we'll be dropping our episode. That's what the timeline's looking like. But of course, you guys know us. We're terrible at being on time, so
Yes,
bear with us. Take a peek for the by the time you're listening to this, if you're listening to this tomorrow, which is going to be Sunday, take a look on our Instagram. We're going to be posting the teaser and vote on our question of the week, because I'm going to cook up something nice for you guys.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Enjoy your
All right.
weekend.
We'll see you guys next week.